أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We continue inshaAllah. Before the break, we had begun the chapter Bab al-Mawaqit. We spoke about these boundaries and these areas that a person who intends Hajj or Umrah is not allowed to pass by except in the state of Ihram if they want Hajj or Umrah. We spoke about those areas and we stated that entering the state of Ihram before passing those areas is wajib. You are not allowed to pass by those areas except in the state of Ihram if you want Hajj or Umrah. We spoke about the best type of Hajj and we stated that it is Tamattu' type of Hajj. We spoke about the Talbiyah and we saw that the Messenger ﷺ entered his state of Ihram at the Miqat Dhul Hulayfa at the Masjid after he had performed his 2 rakats of Salah. We had seen that he made the ihlal, he made the announcement of his talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, etc. at that musalla after he prayed his 2 rakats of salah. We had also seen the Messenger ﷺ advising his ummah that raise your voices with this talbiyah because that is one of the ingredients of a good hajj. And the Messenger ﷺ mentioned the other ingredient, which is a lot of slaughter. We had seen the Messenger ﷺ had taken a ghusl before entering the state of Ihram, and we said that this is a sunnah. Take note of one important matter. If one leaves out a wajib act of Hajj or Umrah, according to majority of the scholars, whether you left it out because you were forgetful, whether you left it out intentionally, whether you were ignorant about the matter, whether you were asleep, whatever the excuse might be, as long as it was a wajib act of your Hajj or Umrah, you have to substitute, you have to do a penalty, which is the slaughter of a sheep. As for the aspects of the prohibitions in the state of Ihram, putting on a cap when you're in the state of Ihram, putting on some perfume while in the state of Ihram, shaving a few hairs while you're in the state of Ihram. These matters, wearing normal clothing while you're in the state of Ihram, they are termed as prohibitions in the state of Ihram. And for those prohibitions, you have 3 options and you can choose whichever one you want to perform. Number 1, slaughter a sheep. Number 2, fast 3 days. Number 3, feed 6 poor Muslims. Any one of the 3, whichever one you feel comfortable with, whichever one you are fine with, you perform. So there is a difference between leaving out a wajib. For example, tawaf al-wada'. For example, not entering the state of ihram at the miqat. These are all wajib acts of your hajj or umrah. What's the penalty? Penalty is nothing besides the slaughter of 1 sheep or a goat. The slaughter of an animal. As for prohibitions in the state of Ihram, they are on a slightly lesser level and one has 3 options: slaughtering or fasting 3 days or feeding 6 poor Muslims. And when it comes to the prohibitions in the state of Ihram, your ignorance, your forgetfulness, these issues, your being forced, can be an excuse for you. For example, a brother never knew that putting on deodorant while in the state of Ihram is a prohibition and he had done so. Is there any penalty upon him? There is no penalty upon him because of his ignorance. A person was forgetful and he put on some perfume on his garment, on his clothing, on himself. He had totally forgotten about the matter, and in this case, is there any penalty upon him? There is no penalty upon him. So there are differences between the 2 matters, the wajibat and prohibitions in the state of ihram. Your ignorance, your forgetfulness, etc. is not an excuse when it comes to the wajib acts, but when it comes to prohibitions in the state of ihram, your forgetfulness, your jahl, your ignorance, etc. can be an excuse for you. And that's an important point to take note of, insha'Allah. Hadith number 596. وعن ابن عمر رضي الله تعالى عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سئل ما يلبس المحرم من الثياب. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم was asked The muhrim, the person who is in the state of ihram, we call him a muhrim. A person who is performing salah is called a musalli. So this muhrim, while in the state of ihram, what are they allowed to wear of garments? Take note of the question. What are they allowed to wear? The Messenger ﷺ replied, La yalbas al-qamis. They are not allowed to wear like a shirt, a thobe. La yalbas al-qamis. Wal al-ama'im. And not a turban. And included in turban is all types of head covering. Wal al-sarabilat. And trousers. And we would include in that the underwear. So all these type of trousers, etc., pants, not allowed. Wal al-baranis. And not a hood. Wal al-khifaf. And not any type of socks. The Messenger ﷺ is mentioning those matters which you are not allowed to wear. Why did he mention what you are not allowed to wear? The questioner asked, what are we allowed to wear? Because it makes more sense. Mentioning the prohibitions because they are limited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, khalas. If the Messenger ﷺ had to mention those matters which are allowed, there might have been 100, 200 matters which are totally allowed. So the Messenger ﷺ simplifying the matter, stay away from these, everything else is allowed. The halal is always more than the haram. إِلَّا أَحَدْ لَا يَجِدْ نَعْلَيْنِ فَلْيَلْبَسْ الْخُفَّيْنِ. Except a person who does not find na'layn, he does not find any sandals, then in this case he is allowed to wear his khuffayn, his leather socks. وَلْيَقْطَعْهُمَا أَسْفَلَ مِنَ الْكَعْبَيْنِ. But he should cut the leather socks just below the ankles. He should leave the ankles exposed and bare. وَلَا تَلْبَسُوا شَيْئًا مِنَ الثِّيَابِ بَسَّهُ الزَّعْفَرَانُ وَلَا الْوَرْسِ. And he should not wear any type of garment or anything of the sort which has this za'faran, the saffron, or this wars. These were two types of perfumes that they had at the time of the Messenger ﷺ. So in summary of this hadith, we see that wearing a qamis, a shirt, any type of head covering, trousers, having a hood on your garment, wearing normal socks, wearing leather socks, etc. These 5 prohibitions apply to who? Apply to the male. The male is not allowed to wear any of these. Then the Messenger ﷺ mentioned saffron and wars. These 2 prohibitions apply to the male and the female perfume. The male and the female are prohibited from making use of perfume. متفق عليه واللفظ للمسلم. This hadith found in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. The female, what is her ihram type of garment, clothing? Then it is the normal type of garment that she wears every single day. That is her ihram type of garment. Can she cover her face? The answer is no. In other ahadith, the Messenger ﷺ clearly stated that the female, she is not allowed to wear a niqab. A niqab is the normal face covering. This type of material, this type of covering which has been made purposefully for the face, the female is not allowed to wear that. But if there are ghair mahrams walking around, if there are strange men around her, is it permissible for her to cover her face? The answer is yes, as Asma and Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha and many of the other women at the time of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam would do. They would take a piece, for example a scarf, etc., have it tucked behind them, and when the strange person walked in front of them or was in the gathering, they would just let it fall over their face. This piece of material is not a niqab. It is not a normal face covering. She would not wear this normally out on the street. She normally wears the niqab, the normal face covering. In the state of ihram, she is not allowed to wear the niqab which has this area for the eye, etc. She stays away from that. She exposes her face most of the time, except when there are strange men around. Then she is allowed to cover her face with this piece of material. You find in many Hajj books they mention that the person, the male in the state of ihram, is to wear unstitched garments. Unstitched garments. In reality, this word unstitched has caused a lot of problems for many a Hujjaj. The Haji, he thinks that anything which has some stitches in it, he is not allowed to wear. In reality, that ihram, those two pieces of white garment that you are wearing, they are stitched together. Your watch, it has stitches on it. The shoe, the sandal that you are wearing, it has some stitches. Your belt has some stitches. This wording unstitched needs to be removed from the Hajj books. Rather, what is meant is that you do not wear normal type of garments. You do not wear normal types of clothing. You don't wear a jersey. You don't wear trousers, etc. This is what you are prohibited from making use of, as the Messenger ﷺ clearly mentions in this hadith. What about the covering of the face? Example, the male, is he allowed to cover the face? The female, we know that generally she is not allowed to cover her face. Based upon authentic ahadith from the Messenger ﷺ, she should expose her face in the state of ihram. She should not wear a niqab, etc. Nor is she allowed to wear gloves. What about the male? Can he cover the face? A brother wants to wear this type of covering over his face because of the pollution, because of the germs, etc. Is that allowed? The answer is yes. The muhrim, the male, is allowed to cover the face, and that is the opinion of majority of the scholars. And Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, majority of the scholars, as Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, the author of Bulugh al-Maram, in his explanation of Sahih al-Bukhari, he mentioned that it is the opinion of majority of the scholars that the male in the state of ihram is allowed to cover the face. What about a sleeping bag? What about making use of a blanket? A brother is feeling very cold, a sister is feeling cold at night while asleep. Can they cover themselves with a blanket? Take note of what we said. What is prohibited? Normal types of garments, normal clothing. Have you seen anyone walking on the street wearing a blanket? Wearing a blanket as a garment, as clothing? The answer is no. So it is permissible for a person to cover themselves with the blanket. What about a sleeping bag? Is that permissible? 100% yes. You don't find people walking around wearing garments of sleeping bags. So it would be permissible for you to put yourself sleep in a sleeping bag during the cold at Muzdalifah, etc., especially in winter. Does one require cutting the bottom end of the sleeping bag so that your legs are exposed? Absolutely not. Right? You would find people doing strange things during the days of Hajj. You are not required to do anything of the sort. The prohibition is perfumes for males and females. And number 2, with regards to these types of clothing, these garments, you are not allowed to wear normal clothing.